Welcome back, everyone. I'm CM, and that's Sweet
Shelves.
Shelves over there. And we're still not over Sweet Bobby. And if you had seen it or have seen it, you wouldn't be over it, or you're not over it either, because it's just like not something one recovers from because it's so much.
Sweet Bobby is the epitome of if you know, you know. Like that's kind of all you have to say. And some people are like, oh my
Oh
God, is that
yeah.
the one about
I asked my sister if she's seen it, and she was like, yeah. Yeah. Yo, I've
Mm.
seen it. I've
I
seen
asked
it.
my mom because I literally sat with my parents down after they got divorced. I made them both watch the Tinder Swindler start to finish separately.
My mom loved that.
Incredible. It's incredible for all ages. I highly
Oh, if my mom
recommend.
was divorced, that shit would probably happen to her.
100. I first of all, my parents don't dabble in online dating, but I just needed them to be prepared for what was out there because it's
No, I'm
dark.
good. I'm glad you warned them both, because your mom's a hottie, and I
My
don't know
dad's a
much about your
catch.
dad.
Yeah, they're
I
both
don't know
my
if I've
parents
ever
are a
met him. Have
catch.
I met your dad?
I don't know if you've met my dad. Maybe
But I
when we
have
were
met your
kids.
mom, and your
Probably as
mom, your
kids.
mom is a hottie,
No, I was like, you know
undoubtedly.
what? And also, even worse, I feel both my parents often believe the best in others.
Oh, well,
They're
that's their first
both
mistake.
first just awful. They love to help. And so it's like that's
You
just
look for the
just
helpers as their Shelby spirits.
just a losing combination in the
Yeah,
online dating realm. So,
yeah.
anyways, I sat them down and I made them watch it. And I asked my mom if she'd seen Sweet Bobby, and she was like, "Oh, the one about the guy." And she knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, this is if ever there was a thing that like you actually can't get over that we're covering, it's this.
So, who is Sweet Bobby? What are we talking about? That's a
Oh,
complicated question
it
with a
is.
complicated answer. So, to tell you who Bobby is, we first have to introduce you to a lovely young woman named Kirat.
Hmm. Beautiful
Um,
young lady.
so there's these, it starts with a voiceover. In true, it's a Netflix documentary. In true Netflix doc fashion, they kind of force you to watch a trailer. Like even if you don't click watch trailer, you click like start. They kind
Hmm.
of force you to watch a trailer anyway. And so the first 2 minutes are kind of an overview of the doc. So we know right away that Kirat, the sound clips of her are so sad because you hear her really distressed, like, how could you put me through this? Like, I'm hoping, for this future. Like, she sounds really upset. Um, talking to Bobby about whatever's going on in their relationship. So over the course of 2 minutes, you see this overview of their love story. And at the end of like Kirit's version of the story, you actually physically see Bobby sit down in front of the camera. So that is what I feel like is so different from Tinder Swindler. Is you don't hear from, and
Sorry.
in so many of these stories, you don't hear from the other side. But
You don't. You don't.
in Sweet Bobby, they let you know right away, like, hey, this isn't like that. Like, here's Bobby, here's this guy,
And
and
Sweet Bobby
he's
from the jump, they're going to be like, you need to know that there is, in fact, a Sweet Bobby. There is an actual Sweet
exactly
Bobby.
like he is handsome. Here's like they show you his photo. He's so when Kira is describing her dream man and why she's waiting for him. He's tall. He's from a good family. He's a doctor.
It's important to note that they're from a tight knit, tight knit Southeast Asian community, that they're all based in Kenya. So they're
Mm-hmm.
Kenyan immigrants of Southeast Asian origins. And so they come from like just a very, very tight, close knit community. And she lives in the UK.
She lives in London, but her parents, I think, are her parents still living in
I think
Kenya?
her parent, no, she lives in London with her parents.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It starts like many things start in this era of, what is this? What century is this? In
Exactly.
the 21st century, it starts with a Facebook
Mm-hmm.
message. And she's
Right.
32 when this all starts. Her age is
Right.
important to me, at least.
No, it is. Well, and in the beginning of all this, she's not actually single. She has an on and off partner who she's been with since she was 18. It's deeply sad. Kira calls herself a disgrace for not being engaged by 32. Um,
Ladies, if you're listening, my mother Didn't meet my dad till she was 36. She got married at 37. She had my sister at 38 and me at almost 41. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you're like behind or you're too late, because that is just a trap and a lie to get people to settle down with people they shouldn't, in my
I thought
humble
that was
opinion.
crazy. I'm not on track for 32. Most of the people in my orbit, in my social circle, are not on track for 32. Um, it's like, it's just the world is not. I think the people who have those expectations, the generation who has those expectations, the world doesn't.
Yeah. And I mean, some people in our generation still do. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure.
Sure.
It
And
is weird
if that
watching,
works for
like,
you, that's great. But
it
that's
is
just
weird
like,
watching all of your like friends get, like, all of my friends are, okay, let's say 90% of my friends are in like committed relationships, like moving in with their
90%.
partner. 90%. Shelby, and guess which percentage you're in?
It's crazy that you would say that. Tell me.
In that 10%, girl, I like,
Okay,
so yeah,
I'm
I mean, like,
rare. Okay, I'm special. Okay, there's a lot of
we're in the same,
requirements to ride this ride.
we're in the same boat. It's okay. It's fine. We'll find our person when they come. We are each other's person. Okay.
Honestly.
Anyway, so she's 32. She's in an on again, off again relationship. Like, she feels as though she's going to be married by now. She's not. Anyways, at 32, she gets this message from Bobby, who is like someone she like knows of through the community. And they quickly become fast friends through Facebook Messenger.
Well, knows of him through the community and because her cousin Simran is dating his cousin JJ.
Right. Yep. And so I tracked, the way I broke down Sweet Bobby was through red flags. So I don't know how you broke it down. So let's just say something is
Good way to
afoot.
track it.
Something is fishy about Bobby. We don't know what. And so I started writing down the various red flag as listen, as someone who is famous for ignoring red flags, it's fun to track other people's. So I was tracking Bobby's red
In
flags
case you need them for later.
in case I need to know. In case I need to know. And if you've ever watched an episode of Catfish, like, this is like it's like it unfolds the same way, and like the same vulnerabilities are preyed upon, the same, like,
It's like sad.
it's extremely sad. Like I said, if we hadn't done Ocean Gate, I would say this is the
It
saddest
also
thing
gets like
that we've covered.
progressively more and more unbelievable. So the pity that I feel for Kirat and that CM is also expressing towards Kirat and her situation, I think CM's she'll maintain it a little more than I. Mine will start to fade as the lies
Shelby says it gets to a point. Okay, it gets to a point.
So, anyways, all that's happened is Kira's on and off with her partner. I think in her words, it would get to a point where she would express like, "Hey, I'd like to get married," and he would retreat and disappear for about a year. She would move on or make steps towards moving on, and he would come back into her life. And then she, in the midst of all this, gets a request from Bobby, who she meets through Simran and JJ. And she goes, "Oh, okay, cool, whatever." And he's kind of an oversharer, if anything, on Facebook. Just like, things are well, my hours are crazy. Just, friendly stuff, but they talk a lot on Facebook, like a lot,
A lot.
a
But they're
lot.
like each other's little diaries, if you will.
Yes.
They both are sharing a lot on there. So they talk for like a couple years, and then I have red flag number one. And for me, the club is red flag number one.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been talking for a couple years at this point. And one night, Simran is out with her friends in Brighton at a club. And lo and behold, she looks up and there's Bobby. And she's like, Bobby from Facebook, who I've been like speaking to every single day a ton. My friend Bobby. So she goes up to him. He does not recognize her. I write this down as red flag number one. He does not recognize her. And she's like, she plays it off. She's like, all right, maybe he just didn't want to say anything. Maybe he didn't recognize me. She just like decides that he
It
was,
was loud in there. Maybe it was the music.
yeah. So she sees Bobby IRL and he doesn't acknowledge her, and she's like, okay, well.
She's like, it's Kirit from Facebook. And he's like, who?
I don't think we have like a follow-up message. Like, does she like message him? It's like, yo, I saw you at the.
No, she addresses
She
that. She goes,
does.
she says, I didn't want to embarrass him, so I never said anything to him about it on Facebook. And then almost immediately after that, he messages her and says, like, oh, I'm having troubles in my marriage, my wife, blah, blah, blah. And then he lets her know that he's getting divorced. Because Bobby's married at the time. Like
Yeah, and
during all of
also,
this, like that's why their friendship. It's weird that they talk so much and that they're each other's little diaries. But she's on and off with her boyfriend. He's married at the time. So they really are talking a lot about like his residency and his internship and his blah 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 blah.
and her wedding gets called off. She's 32, and it's devastating for her and her family.
Yeah, she and her partner officially split. Um, she goes through this hard time. I
And Bobby
remember
goes,
her.
at this time, Bobby goes missing. We need to know that there are like periods of Bobby not talking to her. So that's why I have Bobby goes missing, because he's not talking to her right now for like a bit. So he doesn't message her for a while, and then he like messages her again, and he's like, great news, I'm
Yes.
engaged.
He goes, I have the most amazing news. I'm engaged.
And then so she starts talking to Bobby's fiance on Facebook, right?
Sanj is her name.
Yeah. So, and during this time, it is important to note that there are like multiple accounts talking to her. Um, like saying like Bobby's cousins, people in the community, people who know Bobby, people who know Bobby's fiance, people who know Simran, her cousin. Um, and so yeah. So there's like, it's not just one person. She
So
there's a whole community of people that she's talking to that also know Bobby.
her cousin is like, do you want to come to the wedding for Bobby and Sanj? And she's just not in a place to do that. She's too heartbroken over her ex partner. She doesn't go, but it's beautiful. She sends them a gift, says congratulations.
And then red flag number 3 is Bobby gets shot 6 times.
Well, that's the next thing she hears. Like, so she's just like in between these. She assumes that he's on his honeymoon because that's what's posted onto Bobby's account is like, these pictures of him having this lavish travel lifestyle, extravagant drinks and dinners and trips and things like that. And so the next time she hears from Bobby, because weeks do pass, it's from I think Simran or possibly Sanj messaging her. Bobby's been shot several times, I think 6 times in Kenya. And every time there's like this, he's from like a wealthy family, a prominent family. He's not like,
But she does say, and her rationalizing his being shot, apparently like gun violence is common in Kenya where they're from. So
true.
that's what she uses to like, oh my, yeah, it's totally normal. He got shot 6 times and lived. He's like 50 Cent.
That's true. But they allege that his family is relatively, prominent in the community without being like royalty or anything like that. And it's like,
Guess they had no security.
yeah, it's almost a little bit far-fetched, frankly. So
No, you think
Simran.
what? You think him getting shot 6 times is far fetched? It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. He gets shot 6 times. He lives.
Lives.
And just when you think that is the craziest thing, guess what happens next? You want to say? Bobby is placed in witness protection. Because witness protect, like this is like, okay,
Because
so that's red flag
Bobby's
number 2.
super important. He's a really important guy.
Okay,
He's the most important doctor in Kenya at the moment.
Witness protection is like Fight Club. You're not going to know if someone's in witness protection, because the point of witness protection is to protect the witness from being found out, discovered, and killed. So the fact that like people would
He's
know
still married to Sanj at the moment.
You create a whole new life. It wouldn't be like, it wouldn't be like, hey, Shelby, I'm in witness protection. Like that's not a conversation that would happen.
Like, so in this narrative, Bobby has been shot 6 times. He's got a wife. He says to them, and so she says, like, how are you able to reach out to me? And he says, going against what they said. And she's like, I'm terrified. My life could be in danger if they find out he's talking to me. It's like, how do you think this man got a phone or a computer and just like ignored, you know what I mean? Like it's just the fact that she believed some of this stuff that Bobby is saying to her about, like, I'm sorry, Sanj says, because she doesn't believe Sanj is okay with all this in this conversation. And so Sanj messages her on Facebook, because not only is Bobby able to communicate in witness protection program, his wife is not in there with him. So she's able to message her on Facebook. And Sanj says, I want nothing to do with him. You can have Bobby. I'm abandoning my husband. I wanted to marry him when he had six pieces of flesh in his body. I'm not marrying this whole man.
So not in sickness and health, like I didn't agree to that, and I'm not with that. And now that he's been shot and is in
I married a
ICU,
doctor.
I don't want to be with him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And Kirat's like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
That's not weird. That's not incredibly convenient for me.
So then Bobby in witness protection, like Simran leaves him, and then he's going on and on. I don't want to live. Stop caring. Don't worry about me. Very mentally ill, very pick me, very like almost
Yeah,
teenage girl.
they say he's a wreck. Like he needs Simran. Like he's a mess. She gets sent like pictures from his cousins of him like in the ICU bed. Like
we meet these two guys at this point in time, Rajveer and this guy whose name is a little difficult to pronounce, so they just call him Yash, or Yashid. Yash
I don't
is what they
remember.
call him. They call him Yash. So we have Rajveer and Yash, and those are his two best friends. They make a group chat called the Three Amigos. Raj and Yash are kind of charged with keeping Kirat up to date with all the stuff, all of his health stuff. So basically this whole thing is just a big HIPAA violation.
That's what I said. I wrote down HIPAA violation. Huge HIPAA violation. Like
that's so true.
Like oh yeah, this nurse that we know is just gonna tell this nurse who got on his care team, which is like that would just never, like, imagine like me going to give birth and being like, hi, can I request my sister? Like that's just not something that happens in the medical field. It's just
imagine asking your nurse, can you just like text
name and address withheld,
and like maybe Shelby and Natalie, like
give them my medical information, and I don't know, maybe get one of them on my team. Maybe get one of them on my care team.
Do you mind if I text your nurse, like, what's her heart rate? Like,
yeah, totally.
How's the baby?
Are you next of kin? No, not even close. Not even close. Not even.
I really care, but
not in the same. Matter. Not even in the same country as kin. Nowhere near next of kin. But yeah, so they all are. Maybe they don't have HIPAA in England.
No, not for nothing. Ugh. So they're all in this fuck ass group chat
with this man who is on Bobby's medical care team, because that's just how things work.
Oh yeah, I think that's
not a red flag at all.
Raj went to medical school with Bobby, so he's like, oh yeah, we're both doctors. He's part of the witness protection program team as a doctor, which is very funny. So in the midst of his despair, Bobby tells Kirat, I love you too much. Like, we have to stop talking.
And Rajveer and the other one, Rajveer and Yash confirm this. They're like, yeah, he really loves you. And it's like,
real.
He loves you so much he can't speak to you.
It's real. It's real. And so she's like, you know, I kind of need a second to digest this. Your wife just left you. You know, my partner and I ended things not that long ago. I feel like this is a complicated situation. And she says several times, like, I'm the type of person that once I commit to you, I'm in this. Like, we're committed. And so she's trying to take a couple of like hours, days. She's trying to process things in her own time. While this is happening, her phone is being blown up by Raj and Yash. They're like, he's turning blue. He's having stroke symptoms. He can't move the right side of his body. So, like, this woman can't have a moment's peace. Bobby's friends ask her for a farewell message. They're like,
this is perhaps like one of like the things that like it's so crazy and it's so traumatic and it's so messed up that they're like, yeah, this man you've been talking to for like what, 3 or 4 years at this point is dying, and he loves you, and we need you to record a
Just
goodbye.
found out.
We need you to record a goodbye message to him.
We need you to send everything you've ever wanted to say to him. He's probably gonna die in surgery. So we need you to say all of it right now in a message. He's not able to say anything back, by the way. So we just need you to like basically dump all your feelings into a voice memo for him. So she does, sends it to him, and they're like, he really liked it a lot. He's like, once she gets back, essentially. So he goes into surgery. He comes
We're at red
out.
flag number 6 for me. Now.
Oh,
that was red
go
flag.
ahead.
That was red flag number 6 for me. That whole thing.
Oh, amazing. Do you want to go through what happens after surgery?
So I have written down here that afterwards, like he lives, he pulls through, and then
Pulls through.
like they start talking on the phone, right?
Well, Bobby's updated condition is that after his stroke, he has no voice and he's paralyzed on one side.
Oh,
So
right.
those are his like updated handicaps.
Bobby's really a miracle case. He survived being shot 6 times. He has now survived a severe stroke that has left him partially paralyzed. And through all of this, you know, his love for Kirat is not wavered one bit.
So before they were talking on Facebook, so just messages. And then he's in witness protection program. So they're not able to, you know, talk. Eventually she says, can we do video calls? And they're like, oh, that's too dangerous. We can't do that, but we can do at least like phone line communication. But throughout all of this, she's never actually hearing like his voice live.
All he can do, and like he can grunt, right? Like he whispers, like that she talks, and then he can like whisper and like grunt. And at first, I don't think he can whisper. At first, I think it's just grunts in response to what she's saying, and then slowly,
I must have written it down because it's so crazy.
slowly,
It's
it
like,
goes from grunting to only being able to whisper. That's red flag number 7 for me.
He can tap the table. It's so sad the way she describes it.
He's really not doing well.
It's Valentine's Day they start dating, which means date nights, voice notes, typing.
Oh yeah, so they're officially in a relationship because her other relationship is officially over. They start dating when she's 35, so it's been 3 years that they've known each other.
Mm-hmm. Bobby proposes to her at 3 months of dating.
I forgot about that. I guess I was so like aghast by everything else that I was like,
I know. And yet one of his most cardinal sins may perhaps be proposing over Facebook Messenger. All this technology, and you choose the doodle feature.
You know, there probably are people who are married today that were proposed to over like Facebook Messenger, Instagram,
No, 100%.
Honestly,
it's like there's all this talk throughout the documentary between Kirat and Bobby about talking about having a family, and specifically about making babies. Like
they really want to have kids. She like, I think she starts buying baby clothes or something, right?
Bobby can't wait to be a father.
She's 35 at this point. Remember, keep that number in mind. She's 35 at this point. They're talking about having kids.
Well, so Bobby proposes to her 3 months into their relationship. They're trying to find a way to be together. Witness protection program is really not working with them. I would say that they're happy together. Intermittently, they're arguing about.
Yeah, there's definitely some emotional abuse going on. He's definitely like the type to like be like, I'm so angry at you, like stop talking to her, and then love bomb her and like send her flowers.
But they have like a good 3 months.
And then we got red flag number 8 for me.
Right at that 3-month part. So like 30 people welcome her into the family because the proposal is unofficial, as the families have not met in their culture. That's what it takes for their proposal to become official. And so their parents meet on the phone. Her parents do mention that they find his voice to be very strange, but that's very upsetting to Kira. So they drop it quickly and move on. And they're honestly just so relieved that she's getting married that they're kind of like, whatever,
They're
whatever
like,
gets
you
you
know,
out of the
they're like,
house.
she's 35, which to us is 78. So she needs
Yeah,
to get it going.
honestly, her parents are so awful about the whole thing. So it's been 3 months. They're like, you know what? You figure this out, not us. Moving on. Like kind of a few days into month 3, Bobby like messages her and he's like, I really need to talk to you.
And she's like, oh, what could it possibly be? We've already been through so much. You've survived death twice. Like,
And
we're
he's like, well,
proposed. Your fiance conveniently abandoned you.
this is way better than that. And
And
he goes, speaking of my fiance who conveniently abandoned me, she's pregnant. And I'm pretty sure that kid's mine.
you know, the timeline gets jacked up. If I was Kirat, I'd be like, huh, wait a minute. When did this happen? When did this happen when you were in the ICU? Did this happen like before you got shot, after you got shot?
Well, because she's like, so they've been together just over 3 months and she's like very pregnant. She's like about to deliver the baby at this point. Like let's just say 8.5 months, 9 for easy math's sake, we'll say 8. So it's not a case of Bobby cheating on her, so to speak. It's a case of like he is like forced to admit that he was still with her far past when he said he was, I think was the issue. Like he just wasn't honest with her about like when their relationship ended. I think was the problem.
Anyway, so like this is devastating for Kirat. Obviously, they've been like talking about having their own kids. Like
she wants a baby so
she
badly.
wants a baby, like buying kids clothes already. I'm pretty sure, like really wants to have a baby. She's 35. Like she's like, time is of the essence. And
so she reaches out to, I wrote down Kieran, which is Kiran, Yash's big sister, to talk to her about, should I be putting up with this? Should I leave Bobby? Is he worth this? And everyone keeps saying to her, you know, Bobby loves you. You have to trust him. You can make this work. She also talks to Simran about it. And Simran is like, Bobby loves you. Bobby loves you. She's like almost like brainwashed pro Bobby. Essentially, Bobby chooses her. They talk about names. They pick out baby clothes for his son. They get over the hurdle. They're like, let's do it. She's like, I'm going to love this baby as much as I can. Bobby.
And then for years, they like continue on this relationship that they're having. Mind you, they have not seen each other in person since the nightclub. But I guess through the power of these phone calls every single night, they're like going strong. And she watches this kid grow up, like pictures of him, and she says she like begins to feel as though he's like a stepson to her.
She's like, oh, it's really cool to see Sanj is really putting him in the clothes that I picked out. So eventually she starts to Kira gets like restless because, you know, she's no fool. She's like, it's been a while. You should frankly be here by now.
It's been years at this point. Now they've been dating for like 3 or 4 years at this point.
But also, you know, witness protection program, like that shit does last for a year, and so she's not completely right.
Yeah, I don't know witness protection.
I don't know enough about witness protection.
I'm pretty sure witness protection isn't something that like
it's like until the cases. It's like you don't tell the government.
I think witness protection might be forever.
They tell you.
I think it might be like a lot of cases. It might be forever, like the rest of your life.
Yeah, I don't think it's like whenever you like don't.
But
I don't think you can like lose your patience with it.
But what we do know is if you're in witness protection, you're probably not messaging people on Facebook Messenger a lot about everything you're doing. Probably.
Most likely. I definitely know that like there's like this one line that I am obsessed with, where she was like, yeah, we started leaving the line open and falling asleep on the phone. And it's like, you know, if there's one thing I know about witness protection program, I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to just like fall asleep on the line.
This is through like Facebook calling. They're not even going through like WhatsApp. I doubt she had a VPN. Like
it's like comically bad security. So in the event that Bobby was
like me and Shelby, if me and Shelby with like enough Diet Coke and an afternoon on our hands could probably figure out how to hack this bitch. Like
could find out where this man's hotel was, truly.
Yeah.
It's like comical how poor his security was. Like it's so funny.
But then witness protection, he ages out of it, right? Or it's up. It's quote unquote up. It's over. No more witness protection.
So much better than that. Right before he gets out of witness protection program, she's like, "But I need to be with you," and he goes, "I can get there to you without really being there."
Because he's in Kenya, right?
He's in yes, he's in Kenya for the moment. So he's like, "I'll give you my shirt." She's like, "I need something that's touched you." And he's like, "I'm gonna spray it all up with my cologne." And Simran, her cousin, happened to be going to New York for a work trip, which is where um no, he must have been in New York. That's right. He was transferred to a hospital in New York because
Right. Okay.
Simran is flying to New York and then she stops through London to give her the shirt. So he's in New York. And she's telling us this story, Kira, and she's like, yeah, she must have been so mad with how stinky the shirt was with his cologne. So she's wearing this shirt from Bobby, with his cologne. In witness protection, she starts to get fed up. Bobby turns into a little bit of a control freak. Um, and she shows the messages on the screen. Like Bobby tells her he's fed up with her, and she's like, I'm having a panic attack. And he's like, I'm so fed up with you and all of your shit. And he kind of turns into this like she never
Mean.
yeah, he's like being mean. Like
Yeah, he becomes emotionally abusive.
a
Oh
hundred
yeah, doesn't
percent.
he call her panic attack like fake?
Yeah. He says like
Like,
I'm
oh,
so sick of
he's
this
like,
stuff.
listen, I know fake.
He's like, I'm sick of this shit that you're always pulling. Cause she says, like, she explains her day for you, how she like goes to work, comes home, she wakes up, immediately takes a selfie for Bobby. The second her dinner is done, Bobby calls her. And if she gets up and goes to the bathroom without telling him, he's like, where are you? Where'd you go? What did you do? And it's like, this man is on the other side of the phone saying nothing, doing nothing, contributing nothing. Like she's putting in 150% of the effort. It's like, who do you think you are? Like anyway, she felt like he really owned her time. So she doesn't really address the more like abusive comments, but she does say that she started to feel like really overwhelmed. And like her time wasn't her own anymore.
And mind you, he's a grade A love bomber, so he'll like send her flowers like afterwards and stuff like that after he's mean as hell.
Mm-hmm. And if she would ignore him, one of his friends, Yash or Raj, would message her like, "Oh, he's turning blue. His health is failing." Like anytime she would take that space for herself, anytime, his friends would be like, "Oh, his health is declining rapidly. Like
He's dying
you,
without. He's literally dying without your attention.
he's literally dying without your love." So she's like a really cool girl. We didn't
Yeah,
even know this.
she hosts a radio show every
Yeah,
day.
Kira, yeah, you don't even know this. It's one positive thing about this doc. It's like an hour and 42 minutes. They don't waste a minute of their time. Sometimes Netflix will drag things out into being like 3 episodes when they could be one. This was like a very
No, because when
clear.
I listened to before the show came out, I had listened to the podcast, and the podcast is multiple episodes. Um,
Mm,
and like, which I feel like makes it a little more spooky, scary. The podcast, at least, because you're like
does it?
really like it's real. The podcast really emphasizes like how many other like accounts she was talking to, like how like all these people were corroborating Bobby, so it like made it feel so real for her. Whereas since the show goes a little bit quicker, you're like, there's no way
There's less detail.
that she like all of this stuff just kept happening and she like missed it or like thought it was normal. But alas, here we are.
She has her own radio show. And for one of her segments, she has people call in. And I think there was a young man who called in one day, and it was like they play a clip of it. It's like obviously above board banter. And Bobby listens to her radio show. And so he was like, you and that young man were flirting. That was, you made me look like a fool. That was so inappropriate. Makes her feel like crap. So she's talking to his friends. At this point, he's kind of isolated her from all of her own friends. So
Yeah.
she's talking to like Raj and Yash about it. And she's like, I felt really ganged up on because they were like really inappropriate stuff. So she gives up her radio show. She like, gives up her time slot, says, I don't need to host anymore. And even her parents, her like mother, who to this point has been so conservative, yes, just get married, was like, I felt like that was
This is like really typical like narcissist behavior where they isolate you from your family, isolate you from your friends, isolate you from work. Like all of those things have happened to her at this point.
Seeing her daughter give up her radio show is red flag number 1 for her mom.
Which is crazy because we are at this point, she's been talking to this man for almost 8 years and
Yes.
they've been in a relationship for 3.
3 years.
Yeah.
But after she does that, after she gives up the radio show, Bobby sends her a really nice necklace.
And she's like, I'm back. I'm back.
She said, ka-ching. No, just kidding. After that, her grandma passes away, which sucks.
Really
obviously.
hard time for her. They show the
Mhm.
cutest pictures of her like as a little girl with her grandma. Cutest can be. Like you
No,
really
she
get
was
to
really close to her grandma.
Yeah, so that's like devastating for her. You would think her partner would be really there for her and supportive.
Considering she's been there for him through like
Getting shot 6 times.
crazy shit.
Getting
like,
shot 6
shit,
times, figuring out he had a kid,
100%.
surviving a stroke.
Everything.
Yeah, she's been ride or die. So.
Everything and anything. And he says to her, like, I swear on my life, I will be there for your grandmother's funeral. Plus, not for nothing. I don't know if this is completely fair, but she says, like, I wasn't able to stay with my grandmother through the night because I had to go home and be on the phone with Bobby. And it's like, well, technically, you don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, I get it.
She's really so. Shelby's at the point where like Shelby's at the it gets to a point.
It gets to a point
okay.
where like you were in the room with her and you like, I get it. He was blowing up your phone. You like felt pressure, but like
we're 39 years old. Okay. We need to like she's 39 years old at this point, and it's like
let's stop blaming
it's
Bobby
like we're
for
not
our
19
choices.
anymore. Like we gotta like I don't know, like
let's sack up a little bit is all I'm trying to say.
Let's stand on business. You're like a beautiful, smart
You're
woman
a husband
who spent
You're
years building a career. Like, come on.
At the beach.
You have a family that loves you. Like, come on. Time to stand up, girl. Time to stand up, honey.
No, exactly. That's all I was trying to say. After the funeral, Bobby says, like, I'm coming to see you.
Yeah, he agrees to come see her.
He gives her a flight number because she's like, if you don't come see me, it's over. And he's like, no. There's like a lot of begging back and forth. She's like, if you don't come see me, like, you know, so he gets the flight. She gets the flight number. She's like, let me know when you're here. I'll drive you home. They agree for some. And again, this is where I kind of feel like she gets hoodwinked in a way that perhaps I wouldn't have been. But they agree for whatever reason that when Bobby gets back into town, jet lag, whatever reason, he may need some time to acclimate from New York.
You can't see her right away because of his jet lag being so bad. Can you imagine?
He can't
Someone you've been dating for like you've known for a decade, flying there to see.
Gonna stay in a hotel.
Gonna stay in a hotel, flying there to see you. And then when he gets there, he's like, "Oh, I can't see you. I'm jet lagged."
It's like, you know what? Do you want to go to the hotel first and change because it's an international flight? Whatever. You want to take an Uber instead of me picking you up? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to see me the first day, the first night? It's so okay. I at this point I'm off the train.
At this point, bless her heart, because she's like, okay, she's too nice. This also is like a textbook of example of like what happens to people in society when you're too nice. Like
if you give a mouse a goddamn cookie.
She's too kind.
So she gets to day 3 and he's like, you know, every time he picks the phone, he's making excuses. He needs to go to the doctor. He has business at the bank. He has people to see, blah, 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 blah. He doesn't feel well. Like every bullshit excuse you can think of, he's got it. So at the end of day 3, she just shows up and says, like, hey, is it true that like Bobby last name is here? And they're like, no, we don't have any guests by that name. And she goes, yeah, you do. He's been here for days. I talk to him all the time on the phone. And she goes, no, we don't. And he's not here. So she leaves. She's flabbergasted. Bobby's calling her. He's furious. He's like, I specifically told the front desk not to, or to tell anyone who came looking for me to tell them that I wasn't staying here and that it was under a different name.
Remember, he's fresh out of witness protection. So now he knows his stuff. Okay?
Exactly. He stays in hotels under a different name now. but it just sounds like a bunch of garbage, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, how or why would you come all this way to refuse to see me? You're in London. You're really here in London. You got on the plane and you're in this hotel and
You're
you won't
around
come
my
downstairs
hometown.
and see me. And he doesn't really have anything to say to that. He's like, I think he says like, oh, I never got on the plane. Or he admits that or something like that. So she takes the address from the private detective that she has gotten.
Because she's on now, she's finally, a decade later, she's on to him. She's like, okay, like I need to. She's standing on business.
She goes, wait a minute, this math ain't mathin'.
I don't like it when the math ain't mathin'. That's what she happens. She's like, soon as stuff start adding up, she's subtracting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Finally. Okay. It took her a while to find the equation, but now
Mhm.
she's like, okay. So she hires this PA. This PA gets her an address. She's like, this is the Bobby you're talking to. I found him here. Here's where he lives. There you go. Do what you want with that information. And she does.
So she does. She's like, you know what? I need answers. Even if I don't like my answers, I need answers. So she shows up at Bobby's house. Almost like in a trance, she said. She was like, I just needed to do it. So she just goes there. And she just rings the fucking doorbell. And he answers the door. And
This part's crazy. This like it's already been so crazy, but like this is truly like the like dun dun dun.
like hearing this, I love this part because like hearing it from Bobby's perspective, like he doesn't know Kirit, like doesn't know her from Eve. And so the fact that like hearing him be so afraid.
So imagine you're this man named Bobby, and one day you're at home with your wife and child in your home in East London, I think. Anyways, and all of a sudden there's a knock at the door. And you answer the door, and there's this woman standing there that is like, Bobby,
she's
hello.
emotional.
She's emotional.
She's upset.
She's like, you live here? Like,
she's like, Bobby,
you live here? Like, you've
where
been talking to me.
Have you been?
Like, I didn't realize you lived in the same city as me. Like, she's freaking out. She's like, Bobby, and he like clearly doesn't recognize her, and she does clock this, and she's like, it's me from Facebook. Like, it's me. Like, it's me. Like, you're like,
why is Sash here? Like,
your fiance. Next reveal, guess who's there? His real wife. And guess who the wife?
She recognizes her.
Who she recognizes? Who she she believes is his ex-wife. It's there, and she's holding their son that she knows that she views as a
by name.
And so to her, she's like, "What do you mean? Like, what are you doing here with your ex-wife and your son? Like, obviously she's heartbroken. She feels as though like he's cheating on her.
Scorned. She's like she's a woman scorned.
This is what The Other Woman by Etta James is about. Okay,
truly.
So like she is." There, she thinks that like he's just been lying to her and cheating on her. She still believes that like this is him, and she's like, really,
it is him.
It is him. It is him. It is who she's talking to. That's him. That's the baby. That's the ex-wife. And so she's freaking out. They try to calm her down.
And Bobby is like, Miss, who? Like, what are you talking about? And so, she's like, this is she takes out her phone and shows Bobby and
all of the pictures,
photos of their family.
And she's like, see, like, this is you. Message me on Facebook. And he's like, I don't know who that is. It's not me.
She gets a call from Bobby.
Well, she gets a call from Bobby, and he's standing, the real Bobby's standing there, and he's like,
that's not me.
He's like, look at my hands. See, it's not me, but it says it's me.
So at this point, she's like, so from Bobby's perspective, he's like standing between Kirit, and like Sanj and his son. He's like scared. He's like, who is this woman, and why does she know everything about? Like, she has photos of his baby clothes.
Yeah, like, calling his son by name, and
he's terrified.
Anything real Bobby clocks it faster. He calls
the police. Like
he clocks it way faster. He clocks it way faster than she does, because like she's like, oh, he like realizes, I think, that like she's being catfished by someone pretending to be him. Like,
and
really
Kirit realizes she's not I mean, for all that I joke,
she's very
slow. Yeah, she's not a slow person. So she does.
Remember, Simran calls her and tells her to leave the house.
Well, right, but she's not slow. So she does realize that this man is and his wife are afraid of her. So she's like,
Yeah.
man, they're scared of me. They think I'm a crazy person. I gotta go. So she calls Simran because Simran knows Bobby. She goes, wait a minute. Simran, my cousin, dated this man's cousin. So at the very least, like I know one person. Simran is the one person who was by his side through the hospital, and there's one person who has this physical connection to him and told me Bobby loves me and can set all this right. So she calls Simran, and Simran is like, you should just go. You should go home, and I'll talk to Bobby and we'll sort this out. Because Bobby calls Simran in his house in front of her, and Simran is like, yes, that's my cousin. Yes, I know Bobby. Yes, this is basically just doesn't like confirm anything for anyone. She leaves, she goes home, she sobs like
Yeah,
all
Simran
day,
tells
all
Bobby,
night.
like, this is just my cousin. She's just confused. Like,
Yeah, just like don't worry about it, basically.
yeah.
But you're safe, essentially. So she goes home, devastated, alone, heartbroken. Bobby, files a report with the police. The police contact Kirat, um, the London police, and let her know, you've probably been a victim of catfishing. And so she contacts Simran and lets her know what she's been told. And Simran goes, and so she tells Simran, I'm gonna call the police so that I'm not, just in case they try to charge me with anything. And Simran goes, don't do that, just wait. And she's like, wait for what? And she's like, I'm coming over. So her cousin comes over, she knocks on the door, and she says, I think it's better I probably don't come in. And she just says, I was all of them. And her cousin's like, what? And she's like, I was all of them. I was everybody. And she's like, everybody who? And she's like, I was all of them. I was Bobby, Rajveer, Yash, Kiran,
Dozens
like
of it's literally
the
dozens of
30
people.
people that she meets after she and Bobby get engaged and she's welcomed by his family, like those 30 plus Facebook profiles, like his
Yeah,
family welcoming her. That's all.
me. It was all me.
And it's just like, and so she says, like, why? Like, why would you do this? Like,
She's
all
like, it's
she's
been 9 years. Like 9 years. You've been pretending to be people for 9 years to me. 9 years. And she's like, what? Like, why? Why? We don't. Perhaps the most frustrating part of the whole thing is you don't get an answer. I mean, like,
60 profiles.
yeah, it's like she apologized. I don't think she apologizes until there's like prosecution, right?
She doesn't even really she says you ruined your own life, because when she says like you stole my childbearing years from me, like
Which
how
is
much I
so
wanted a
devastating.
baby.
She steals 32 to 39 of this woman's life, like thinking that she's in this like an evolved relationship with this man. Yeah, we know Simran's her cousin, but that is also so fucking disturbing. This is like her little girl cousin that's like her,
Yeah,
what, like 20 years younger than her or something?
she's like, I think she's
15
like
years
10 years
younger?
younger, like
Yeah,
10
like
or
10,
15 years
15
younger.
years younger than her.
Looks up to her for advice. So the girl has another, she's like a much more minor character. She's like, yeah, in the
Their other
doc.
cousin is also like,
She has
yeah,
another cousin who's like, yeah, I looked up to her. She's a great cousin. I have no idea why our other cousin did this.
yeah.
But then, she explains that JJ's profile, so Simran's boyfriend as a teenager, that profile was fake. And she friended JJ, Kirat did. And so every profile attached to JJ ever since then, all of these, more than 60. She just blames it in the sentencing hearing, blames it on like, because they reached out to Simran to be part
Oh
of.
yeah, so Simran does prosecute because people are like, everyone's like, you have been like, they're like, this is a crime that has happened to you. So
Right.
she gathers all of the messages,
The
all of like the
evidence.
Skype call logs, like everything, gathers it, brings it, files a case.
And Kirat tries anyway.
And she tries. I mean, I think she gets, they end up settling. Like her cousin has to pay her money and apologize to her officially, and she does. We still don't have a motive, which is so like devastating.
I honestly doubt she knows why she did it.
Like, yeah, people catfish people for like a year, 6 months, and like that's still messed up.
Like,
But,
how could
like,
that be
but like,
entertaining for you?
but like,
Every
yeah, and it's
night?
upsetting. And like, usually I think it's like out of an excruciating loneliness that like they're
Yeah.
like they're so afraid of being themselves And so then they like pretend to be someone else. And then out of like an excruciating loneliness to like reach out to someone and catfish them because they think that like
But
they would
this
only talk
girl's
to this
she's
person.
not
But
conventionally unattractive. She's
but the
not
weird
like
thing is like, what do you mean? Like it shouldn't be about like and on Catfish traditionally it's someone like who really wants
it's
to be
usually
with this.
about looks.
It's like this person really wants to be with this person. They're afraid they won't like them because of how they look, but they're like romantically into this person. The weird part about Bobby is like this is her little girl cousin.
Yeah.
Like what?
The real
What?
Bobby is weirded out.
Oh yeah, the real Bobby's weirded out, but like the sweet the Bob like it's weird that Simran is like pretending to be in
Simran is sweet Bobby.
like pretending to be in a relationship with her cousin, her older girl cousin. They sleep on the phone every night for 3 years straight
And talk about like being like, oh
Like-
yeah, we're gonna make a baby. Like they were.
We can
sexting
imagine.
at
I was
some
telling
point.
Shelby, I was like, can you imagine the phone sex that like they probably had and like with her cousin? Like that's, I don't know. I just think that like, oh my god, like the pain. I can't imagine.
There's some bells
I don't know.
Can't
And I don't know if
unring.
it's because like I'm a weak person and I am. I'm in my 20s and I've already reached my capacity for like heartbreak and like pain and suffering. Like I've already reached my limit. I can't do anymore. If this happened to me, I don't know if I would survive it. And I mean that. Like if this had happened to me ages 32 to 39 and I thought I was dedicating my life to someone that I thought truly loved me and I found out that like someone had been my cousin. I have a little girl cousin. She's not a little girl. She's now in her 20s, and I love her.
So funny.
That we probably have the same exact age difference as Simran and Kira. And if my cousin had done this to me, I don't know if I would survive it. I'm gonna be frank because I like would at the very least, Shelby, I would have to be institutionalized. At the very least, I'm dead serious.
Not too much on that now, because you've overcome a lot.
Let me tell you, I've like, I have been pushed to the limit. Okay, I know what I have the capacity to take. This is not it. Like I can't even imagine. And so like that, the main tragedy is the huge chunk. Yeah, I mean, Kirat says it. She's like, I lost the best years of my life to this.
Yeah.
And I think like that's what's so devastating. And then
so
the second
unnecessary.
tragedy of it is like not knowing why. Like
Yeah.
not having any like why.
Yeah. Like
And like the fact that she has to live with that why for the rest of her life is wild
awful.
to me. And the fact that like and they do talk about how like we clearly need more like legal protections for people being catfished. I feel like even now, like it's going to be even more so now that like AI is becoming so advanced that like people can really fake like voices. They can have chatbots talking to you. Like so much easier to catfish now with AI. Like, and the fact that there's like not that many legal protections for like something that is true. If this isn't like emotional distress, like I don't know what
it's
is.
Sinister. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, the truest thing that Kirat says is like, what you did to me was literally sick and twisted. And I was like, that is the best use of sick and twisted I've ever heard, because it absolutely was.
It was. And it's like her cousin doesn't seem apologetic in any way.
I don't know. It's interesting that it started as when she was a kid and she continued it up through her 20s, like doing this to her cousin. It's weird that like Simran also lost like her 20s and like teenage years being busy catfishing her cousin. It's like she almost like it's almost like she was like treating her like a pet. Yeah, I guess like a pet, like a weird pet,
like a Neopet or like Club Penguin.
Yeah.
Like RuneScape. And
I wonder if like I mean she had to have like Simran must have felt so powerless in her own life that like the only thing she could do like was control someone else's life. Oh my god, I can't imagine.
Sad? It's like to crawl into their like mindset is like
so weird and disgusting of her.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm gonna get over this one when Kirat does.
Yeah. Oh god, that poor woman. All right, well, as you can tell, we're still not over it. I don't know, like I don't have anything else to say except for like what a weird case.
Yeah, insane.
What a weird case.
Worth the watch. Sweet Bobby and Netflix.
There's a reason why it's just not a regular episode of Catfish and it has its own documentary and its own podcast. I recommend listening to the podcast first, and then if you have time, listen to the podcast first and then watch the documentary, because
You won't get over it.
You won't get over it. It's so devastating and so weird. Perhaps like one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. So
Yeah.
And
Check
I
it
read
out.
creepypastas, so okay, this is weird.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, see you next time.